All right, class. Thank you very much for waiting. This is the continuation of our prelim discussion. Sorry. Now, we are already here in this part. Element 1.5, identifying the careers and prospect. Okay, we're already finished with that. Now, what are the career prospect in hospitality? Positive views. We have variety of career choices. As we all know, your careers could be a waiter on cruise ships. You could be a flight attendant. You could be a bellboy. You can be a room boy of the housekeeping department, and there's a lot more. Accommodation sectors. Okay, the room boys is what I've told you earlier. Next one is food and beverage, which is the restaurant. It could be an FO associate, telephone operator, reservations, and a lot more, as you can see here in this picture. Okay, there's a lot of choices, so we will never run out of the position. We always have it. They will be waiting for us. Okay, moving on. Now we are here still in the career prospect opportunities. One of your prospects. One of the advantage is your opportunity to meet a lot of people. Whenever you meet them, that people could be the owner of the Burj Al Arab Hotel, and because you showed how entertaining you are, you might have a better offer, and that can be your stepping stone towards your first international job. So you are very prone to meet a lot of people, so be very friendly, be very personable every time. Now, backgrounds, long-term career development. Long-term career development, if you take this industry very seriously, you are going to climb up the ladder from being a busboy, going a waiter, to be the supervisor, and even the manager. All you need to have is the passion to do the job, and you will be able to get the promotion. Fringe benefits, as we all know, once you become a regular employee of this industry, you are going to have a lot of benefits. One of those are the 13-month pay, one of those are the bonuses, and a lot more. Now, after we have discussed the positive views, now we're going to be focusing on the few negative views. Negative views would be long and non-regular working hours. As what I've told you, you can be working 10 hours straight, okay, whenever it's necessary. You have to put that in your mind that this is the industry that I have chosen for. Therefore, even if I will be working for long hours, I must be able to enjoy it. Why? Because this is going to be my stepping stone to be working on the airlines. This is going to be my stepping stone to work on the cruise ships. And once I'm already there, I'll be earning the salary that I have been waiting for. Okay? Another negative views could be the under pressure, because you are dealing with a lot of guests. You are going to have, or you're going to be under pressure by your boss, under pressure by your guest, because you need to satisfy them, you need to serve them on time. Therefore, the pressure is going to be on you. But do not worry about it, as with a thorough supervision of your managers, you are going to be able to do that properly. Next, another negative views is the low starting salary, and we all know that not only in hospitality industry, every company, well, with the exception of the engineering guys who are getting a lot of salary, but most of like the the companies, you are most likely going to start with a low salary, and eventually you are going to go up from there. Next, we are already in element 2, monitor and improve workplace operations. How are we going to monitor it? How are we going to improve? What are the things that you're going to have to do as a manager? Organizations are places where groups of people work together to achieve common goal. As we all know, for you to be able to be successful, you must be able to have an objective, and from objective you'll be able to set, or you'll be able to reach your goal, and then the effect of that would be the success. Next one is overview of management responsibilities, handles the staff of all departments. So as a manager, once again, you'll be handling different departments. You'll be handling the front office department, you'll be handling the F&B, you'll be handling the technical staff, so on and so forth. So you will have, or you're going to manage that particular department. Next, a manager is responsible for coordinating the work of people to achieve a specific goal. So manager, once again, is responsible for coordinating to work with people. So as a manager, you're gonna have to focus on your staff. You're gonna have to make sure that they are doing their job properly. And if you noticed that one of your staff is a slow learner, one of your staff cannot adapt things easily, then you're gonna have to focus on them. You're gonna have to train them, and from there you are going to improve that employee. Okay, next, efficient. That is on the time and within the given resource of constraints. Okay, good example is being efficient happens when you are very resourceful, or in Filipino what we call diskarte. Okay, this field, you need to be resourceful. You need that diskarte whenever you are already in the field. Let's say kulang ka ng pitchel, kulang ka ng teapot. So what are you going to do? You go to the other station and ask for help. You cannot just tell to your guest, I'm sorry ma'am, we don't have teapots anymore. That is unacceptable. The guest is asking for cappuccino. You go inside the kitchen and you notice that the kitchen or the bar staff do not have a cups anymore. So what are you going to do? You cannot say no to the guest and tell them, I'm sorry man, we do not have a cappuccino cup anymore. That is not acceptable. You need to be resourceful. You need to be efficient. So if you run out of that cappuccino cups, you go inside the dishwasher, grab the cups, wash it yourself, and then you provide that cup. That's how you do it. You solve the problem. That's being efficient. Next, effective quality standards. Once again, whenever you're working in a hotel, you have to do the standards practices or the quality in order for you to achieve that quality standards of the hotel. Let's say the chairs should be properly lined up. Okay, standards of the hotel, whenever you're serving the food, there should not be any spillage. So that is an example of a standard. Next one. Next, still under the monitoring and improve workplace operation, is planning, organizing, leading, and monitoring. So as a manager, I'm going to take you to the industry that I know best, which is the cruising industry. On the cruise ships, my manager plan like this. They're going to position us, or they're going to delegate us in the dining room. They're going to give us a duty for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, and then we're going to serve the guest, and after that we are going to be organized. Okay, the plan of the manager is to give us the duties from breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then they're going to organize us whenever the dining room is not busy. One way of organizing, one way of helping is to take one guy away from the dining room and give help to the other station and give help to the other dining room location. Okay, that's how you organize. That's how you give a help. And of course, once you talk about leading, you, the manager, for you to be able to lead a particular group, okay, you must lead by example. If you happen to see, or if you are saying that you're saying to your employees that you need to be very courteous, therefore, they need to see it on you. If you happen to walk by the restaurant and you encounter a guest in front of you, then you as a manager must be an example to greet them. Not because a boss, that is not an excuse for you not to greet them. You're telling your employees that you need to be personable, therefore you as a boss should always or should also be personable. Next, that's how the manager work. Okay, next one. Oh, these are the few examples. Okay, example is the chief executive officer or the CEO is likely to be more involved in. The CEO or the boss or chief executive officer, these are the things that he's involved with. First one, dealing with a board of management. So this chief executive officer normally meet the board or the owners of the company, and then they discuss what are the things that you need or they need to do in order for the company to improve. What are the things that you need to do in order for your employees to love your company? So those are the things that's being discussed right there. Now, broad organization planning. So anything about planning, anything about organizing, anything that has something to do with the improvement of the company is what the CEO is in charge of doing. And of course, along with that, it will branch out into a lot of trainings. Okay, that is the bottom line of this slide. Next, middle level manager. So once you say middle level manager, they are in charge of the operational planning. So operational planning, how are you going to operate? How are you going to put the people? How are you going to do the scheduling? So that's part of the planning. And of course, establishing staff levels within a given budgets. Next one, dealing with unresolved problems. So whenever you have unresolved problems, like if your waiter got a complaint, therefore you as a manager must be able to look where or which guest complained or which guest has complained your waiter, and then you're going to locate it. Once you have located the guest, you are going to apologize personally as a manager, and you tell them, I'm sorry, ma'am or sir, I'm sorry for what had happened with your issue with my waiter, but I'm gonna have to make sure that it's not going to happen again. So that's how you talk. That's how you talk as a manager to your guest. Okay, setting up the system and procedure. As we all know, you must be able to come up with the system and a procedure for you to achieve the goal. Encourage staff in setting up systems to support them. Once again, you have your team, therefore you need to support each other. If the other one needs a help, therefore you don't need to be told. Okay, if you're not that busy and you think that your colleagues needs a help, so you go and offer a help. Okay, next, supervisor. What are the responsibilities? See that? That can happen to you if you become a supervisor. It happened to me once. Okay, now, work directly with the staff on a day-to-day basis. As a supervisor are dealing with the staff day-to-day basis. They are monitoring, they are observing, they're making sure that they are complying with, once again, company standards and policies. Monitor the workload, the workload, if it is just fair, if it is relevant, or if the workload is necessary. So you cannot give an extra workload to your staff if it's not needed. You cannot put a staff here if it's not a busy hour. So therefore, the workload and the workflow should always be a balance. Another job of the supervisor is to handle queries and issues as they arise. So as I keep on saying from the start, they are responsible for any problems or queries of the guest. Verify systems are implemented and suggest changes. So systems, whenever the owner of the hotel would like to do a certain changes, the supervisor is going to have to make sure that that is being followed by their subordinates. Okay, next one. We're still in monitoring and improve workplace operation. Now, the culture of business. The culture of business, as we all know, that is very engaging. Okay. Another thing is that the supervisor or the employees are very supportive to their staff. They are also customer oriented, as I've told you from the previous slides. Friendly, comfortable, casual. Okay. And I'd like to emphasize on this, they are focusing on the total quality management. Total quality management is the process of improving products and services while eradicating the defects. Products and services like the food, you improve the quality of that. You improve the services. Make sure you're going to serve the food on time. Make sure your employees knows how to smile to your guest. Okay, that is under total quality management. Improve products and services while eradicating defects. Defects could be the act of being arrogant. Some of the employees could not be so entertaining, so that must be corrected. And once you're ready here, you should be able to avoid blaming others. So it's a nature of hospitality industry to be or to have blaming involved, negative, okay, and stressful. So you should avoid this once you're already in the hospitality industry. Instead, you must come out with a solution. Okay, I've been talking for a bit now, but we're gonna have to finish this. Now, we're gonna be focusing on the different types of managers. Managers are people with different personalities and strategies. Now, they are classified into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First one is laissez-faire. Second one is team-oriented, task-oriented, autocratic, and outgoing. First, laissez-faire is a type of manager that lets people to do on their own. Okay, so later I'm going to ask you, which kind of leadership is appropriate in hospitality industry? Laissez-faire, meaning to say they are going to let people to do whatever they want. You're my people, you can do whatever you want. That is the laissez-faire type of management, and that is a French term. Next is team oriented. Team oriented listens to employees. Okay, what is your, if I'm the manager, I'm going to ask you, what do you think? How am I going to solve this problem? Do you think this is applicable? Do you think it is necessary? Do you think that I should close the restaurant on time? Or do you think that I should open up? So that is team oriented. You would like to hear the suggestions of your employees. Next one is the task oriented. Task oriented meaning to say these managers are very goal focused. So if they say that the dining room closes at 10 o'clock, that should be closed because they are very goal oriented. If your job description tells you to work 10 hours or 11 hours, even if it's not busy anymore, then you're gonna have to follow your schedule. That is being goal focused. The next one type of leadership is autocratic. Autocratic is very boss type. Okay, relationship is secondary. Autocratic mean to say the boss that do not listen to the suggestion of their employees. Okay, they do not listen to the suggestion of employees. They only believe that my system is the only system that is going to work. That's autocratic. And the opposite of that would be the outgoing leadership. Outgoing leadership is very personable to staff. They are very caring. They would like to hear what other employees would feel about their job. Okay, next one, task style. So task style are people-centered style. See, they are treating the people like a puppet. They are very task style, focuses on the technical aspects. Okay, and they think like a robot, you know. Okay, next, people-oriented style is more concerned with the relationship. Okay, this is the opposite of that. They are very concerned with the relationship. They would like to hear the managers or the leaders would like to hear your opinion. The leaders would like to hear your feedback about a particular scenario or about a particular setup in the organization. That is people-oriented style. No? Next, participatory directing or teamwork style. Participatory, who is the best person for the job. So once you say participatory, okay, once you say participatory, you're going to pick that person. As I've told you earlier, if you're the manager, I'm going to take this guy right here because he is very personable. He always smiles. Therefore, I'm going to put him in front of my restaurant. Now, next, directing. Directing is, once again, we are still in the part of monitoring. Okay, this is the job of a supervisor. Directing is a process in which you are focusing on the slow learners. So, who are the slow learners here in my restaurant? I'm gonna have to focus on them and I'm going to put them into training. Therefore, they're going to improve. Therefore, I can treat them or I can trust them next time I put them on my restaurant. Directing. Okay, next is teamwork style, people-centered approach. So people-centered approach, like teamwork style, you would like to know the feelings. So this is something to do, basically, this is something to do with the previous slide that I have talked about. Now we're going to move on to the next one. Laissez-faire, once again, is characterized by laissez-faire or laissez-faire. You can do whatever you want to do, but then of course it depends on the type of organization. Okay, laissez-faire means very little guidance from leaders. Little guidance from leaders. Complete freedom for followers to make decisions. Leaders provide the tools and resources needed. So they are not being monitored properly by the leaders. That is laissez-faire. And the group members are expected to solve the problem. So take note of this. This is the opposite of what I am trying to tell you. That's why later on I'm going to ask you about your opinion about this kind of leadership. Power is handed over to the followers. See? Do you think that is going to work in the hospitality industry, particularly in the hotel department? I would like to hear that later on. Okay, now another example of autocratic. I think we're about to be finished. Thank God. Okay, autocratic. This is how they let their subordinates work or the employees work. Autocratic. This is the leader, and he says, "Do this." That's it. You cannot say anything. You cannot give your comment, but all you have to do is to follow. That is autocratic. Now, laissez-faire is do this or that as you fit. Do this or that. I mean, you have a freedom. What would you like to do? So, is that appropriate in the hotel department? Is that appropriate in the resort? Or is that appropriate in the airline industry or even cruising industry? Once again, I'm going to ask you later on. Next, democratic. The democratic kind of leader is the leader that is asking, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? I'm going to lead. I have my own opinion. I have my own way of doing things. But then you have a direct contact with the guest. You tell me your opinion about it, and then I am going to filter them. Which suggestion is the best, and then I will try to incorporate it with my suggestion. Later on, I'm going to ask you, autocratic. Are you in favor of autocratic, laissez-faire, or democratic? Okay, last one. Monitoring. Last one. What does monitoring work operation mean? So monitoring, so from the word itself, monitoring is a process of determining how well our plans are being implemented. Let's say my plan is to achieve a target revenue for this week, and then based on my monitoring, I have noticed that my waiters are not selling enough wines. That's the reason why I am not hitting my target, and that is how you monitor. Then work operations could be the service delivery, excellence, customer satisfaction, providing, once again, tangible and intangible services, product supply, and the nature, facilities, and food and drinks, dealing with paperwork, gathering of the customer's portfolio. So these are under the work operations. We are going to discuss more of this. However, this is the last part of the discussion of the prelims, and the next ones is just going to be your reporting, and I hope you are going to be ready by that time. So you have under the work operations, you should have trust, you should have quality, you should have excellence, you should be able to support each other, you must come up with a goal, you must come up with a solution, you must be able to satisfy your guest, which is what you call customer service. Okay, once again, customers are very important. Thank you very much. Once again, be prepared for your report, and I will stop this video and we're going to have a quick Q&A. Thank you very much for listening. Once again, this is the micro tourism discussion.